As we hear from the book of Daniel in our first reading throughout this week, it is, I think, also rather fitting that the responsorial psalm for each day this week is also from the book of Daniel, from that third chapter in Daniel, where after the three companions of Daniel are thrown into the fire by Nebuchadnezzar to be burned alive, they are saved, are preserved by the angel, and in the midst of the fire, they sing out that hymn of praise to God. And it is a beautiful expression, beautiful psalm of praise, of giving that thanks to God, giving glory and eternal praise to him. And it starts out, again, acknowledging all that God does, and it goes through and it acknowledges all these works of creation. And as we hear today, going through many of those, sun and moon, bless the Lord. Stars of heaven, bless the Lord. Every shower and dew, bless the Lord. And it goes through fire and heat, cold and chill. Tomorrow's, if we didn't substitute tomorrow's for the Thanksgiving Day readings, it would go through, frost and snow, bless the Lord, which also would have been rather fitting for today and the weather we have. But it is also quite fitting that we are getting these expressions of thanksgiving, of glory and praise to God on this week of Thanksgiving. Because this is an important aspect of what it means to give thanks. And thanksgiving to God is not just saying thank you. It is not just being thankful. It is a particular response that goes along with that feeling of gratitude, of thankfulness, and that is to give glory and praise to God. That must be a part of thanksgiving for it to be real thanksgiving to God. We can obviously be thankful to other people and not give them glory and praise as though they were God. That is inappropriate. But when we are thankful to God, we don't just acknowledge the gifts that he has given, we acknowledge his might, his power, his mercy, and his love. And from that thanksgiving is meant to flow glory and praise, now and for eternity, eternal praise to him. And even that reading on Thanksgiving, that gospel reading of the lepers and who are cured, and only one returns to Jesus to give thanks. And it says, as he returns to Jesus, it says he is glorifying God. He is praising him. And he falls down upon his knees before Jesus Christ, before the Lord himself, to honor him, to praise him, and to give thanks. All of those must be aspects of our response of thanksgiving, and especially this week of Thanksgiving. We should recognize that need to give glory and eternal praise to him. And we should also recognize that the best way that we can give glory and praise to God is at the Mass. For that is what the Mass is designed to do. Give perfect praise to God, the most perfect praise that we can offer to God here on earth, because it is giving him the Son. The Son makes himself present for us in the Eucharist and is given to the Father as our praise, as our worship, as our thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, the celebration, the national holiday, if it is going to have real meaning and understanding of who has given those gifts, it must be directed to God first and foremost. And as such, if we are going to celebrate it, we should give him glory and praise with that thanksgiving. And we should come to Mass. And that celebration of the Mass should be a very important part of that day and of every day of our lives. I think it is also worth noting that this psalm of praise to God that these three young men raise is given in the midst of trial, as they are in the fire. They are not in a very happy place. They have been bound and beaten and accused of crimes against the king, and they have been sentenced to death, a death that is rather violent. And praise be to God that they are saved, but in that midst of the fire, they sing out glory and praise in this song of thanksgiving. Yes, we can be thankful. Perhaps it is easier to be thankful when things are going well. But even in the midst of fire, even in the midst of persecution, even in the midst of facing death, we can and should give that thanks, that glory and eternal praise to God.